I'm privileged to speak with Gisela Hinojosa of Cobalt to talk about her experience of working in cybersecurity. Thank you so much for joining us today. First thing I wanted to ask you was, you are a pen tester, from what I've been told. Exactly what is pen testing?
So basically, as a pen tester, we are hired to break into the company that has hired us. So we test either their internal network or their external network, their web API. Basically, we're hired to do what a malicious actor would do and try to report the findings, and then they can remediate them and have better security posture from this assessment.
Okay. And how did you actually get into this particular area of cybersecurity and in cybersecurity in general?
Yeah, so I studied computer science in college, so I figured I would go into development. But once I graduated, I was having a hard time finding a development job. So what I ended up doing was actually going to software testing, and I found out I was really good at it. And I stayed doing software testing for 6 years, but then I kind of got a little bit bored of it. And then I was thinking about switching careers, and my husband's like, well, what have you always wanted to do? And I'm like, well, I've always wanted to hack. But it's like, but who's going to pay me for that, right? Like, that's not something that you normally find like a type of job kind of thing. But I did some research, and I found that in Austin, that's where I live, there was a company named Rapid7. And basically what they were doing is we're gathering a team of people who maybe did not have a lot of security background, but wanted to become pen testers, but they also had some IT skills. So it was pretty good because software testing is basically, it's similar. The only difference is here I'm looking for actual security vulnerabilities and helping the company. From there, I went from an analyst to a consultant. And, as I kept growing my career, I also kept learning more and more stuff. I started with the easy stuff, like the externals and web apps, then eventually moved into like internal networking and some IoT hacking, and then mobile application.
Aside from the hacking part, what have you enjoyed about being a pen tester?
So pen testing is pretty big. Like there's so many different like specializations. Like there's red teaming, which is more of what you think about a malicious actor doing. And then there's like IoT testing, which is like hardware testing. And they're so big and broad that there's always something new to learn. And that's actually what I like about this career.
For those that want to get into cybersecurity, what are the typical career paths that people, particularly women, could expect to pursue?
So there is two really big branches of cybersecurity. So there's the red teaming, which is what I'm part of, which is like pen testing, and that's more of the offensive side. Mm-hmm. And then there's the blue teaming, that the blue team is more the defensive side. So they're the ones stopping the attackers from getting into their systems.
How critical is it these days to have certain certifications or a number of certifications under your belt in order to pursue the cybersecurity as a career path? What have you found?
If you're trying to get into the field in general, it's good to at least have one. And the reason is because recruiters look at that, and it's easier to get interviewed and get your foot in the door if you already have a certification. There's a lot of certifications, but if you just want to get started, Security Plus from CompTIA is enough. And you can even take a course in like your local community college and just do the test after that.
From a advice perspective, I mean, for those that want to, what would you tell women in particular how to best navigate starting a career in cybersecurity?
The other thing I do recommend if you're trying to get into cybersecurity in general is building your own home lab. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money building it. I mean, you can build it in the cloud, but it's definitely something managers and recruiters like hearing. And it shows that, you know, you are interested in cybersecurity and you're willing to put the extra time, and then that you are, you know, learning on your own.
Gisela, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. It's really fascinating to hear about what your path has been. And so I'm sure that anybody that watches this video will be able to learn a lot from you. And best of luck to you, because I think you're in an awesome field. So thank you so much again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.